Hello and welcome to End Focus, coming to you this week from the city of Ossex on Tenebrous Isle. I am your host Hilka. Joining me as always is my co-host Rosalie. How are you doing today?
Hello, I'm good. I'm just a bit sleepy, which I think I've said about a million times. That should be on the bingo list.
It is the center space
Yeah.
for when I actually finally make them.
But other than that, I am good. How are you?
I'm also very good. I'm a little warm, but that's not new to the past couple of weeks. At least it's less warm than it used. Like it's, still like 10 degrees cooler than it was like 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
But it's still not entirely a comfortable temperature to be outside as I was late this morning.
Oh dear.
Here's a fun fact for you unrelated to the temperature. You know what I noticed when I was editing the episode, the last episode? We forgot to do the coming to you this week, that episode. I say we. I forgot.
What would it have been?
Broadleaf Basin in the Kingdom of Azuria.
Oh, of course. Oh, naturally.
Yeah. Monster Hunter Stories 3.
Yes. Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
So did I, apparently. But other than that, yeah, I'm doing good. I went to a concert last week.
Oh.
It was awesome. Canadian alternative country artist Juliana Riolino. She's excellent. I bought an album. She signed it.
Aww.
The show was amazing. Oh, I love concerts.
I didn't go to a concert, but I did go record shopping with my mum. And she picked up a Sonic Youth album that she didn't have. And I got Loveless on vinyl by My Bloody Valentine because I don't own it on vinyl for some reason. And it's like...
That's shocking.
I know. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. And I think it's because I assumed that both my parents have copies. So I was going to inherit one regardless one day. So I just never bothered. But it's very... it sounds so... I don't want to be that person, but it sounds so good on vinyl. Love it. And we went...
I did like that video you posted on Blue Sky as well of it playing, and you had... What game was it on? Was it
Pokopia?
Tomodachi Life?
Pokopia. Yeah. It was just I know the summer and sun is good to go outside and enjoy it, but sometimes I just love when there's what I call a Simpsons sky where it's blue and there's some clouds, but it's not cloudy. And the sun's coming through and you've got your tunes on, because my mum used to put her hi-fi on and play it was always the Chemical Brothers and Boards of Canada, and she would put them towards the windows in her flat, and she would sunbathe in front of our really our Edinburgh flat, and it just kind of takes me back to listening to cool 80s and 90s bands. And it was just it was nice, Switch gaming with records on in the background. It chills me out. I am a fan.
Have you listened to the new Boards of Canada album?
No, I am going to, but I was listening to their first one because it's one of my favorites, and then I also ordered that on vinyl because I didn't have it. But they're very cool, and they're Scottish. Hey, but yeah, I'm in a little kick where I'm just what records do I not own? But then, to be fair, I probably owned all these on tape and CD at some point and just kind of lost them. Dope.
Yeah.
And I also went to Super Barrio, which I'm going to take you next time you come here, because it is a video game bar. And
that's exactly what I assumed based on the name.
Yeah. It's tiny, but it's I've been going there since I moved here, and everyone, the staff are always amazing. And you can go up and get a coffee or drink, and then you can get cash back to then use in the arcade machines. And they have they had an original House of Dead 1 cabinet, and I was playing the Jaws pinball machine. And it was,
Of course.
yeah, it was amazing. And then I was like, I'm going to look one up. I want one. And I saw it was $9,000. And I was like,
Oh, God.
got it. It was so cool, though. Oh, good times. But yes, we both had good nerdy music weekends then.
Yeah. Speaking of nerdy bars, have you heard of, maybe we've talked about this on the show before, but there's like a bar in Japan where you bring a trading card and they make you a drink based on the trading card. Have you heard about this?
No, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, they have like...
And so
Oh.
a YouTube channel I'm a big fan of, Card Market, the magic arm of it.
Mm-hmm.
They went there and they brought like the One Ring from the Lord of the Rings set.
Of course.
It looked,
Yeah, Japan has cool bars. Don't they have a Family Guy bar, or am I making that up? I think they do.
It's entirely possible.
There's, yeah, Glasgow has cool bars. We have just not a trading card bar. Maybe that's what I should do. Maybe that's my calling. Not that you can actually get any like Pokemon stock right now, so it would just be centered around booze. But you know, I could try.
Well, good news. There's more than one trading card game out there.
That's true. Although they're all moving on to them now too, because we can't get any Dragon Ball cards, despite the fact no one cared about them like 2 months ago. And I think they're moving on to Vice Schwartz, and I'm going to get really angry because that was like my fallback to get some cardboard serotonin. And now they're like, all the resellers are like, oh, anime cards. And I'm like, no, leave them alone.
You could go back to Lorcana, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone always has that in stock. That's true. That's a good point. I'll do that.
I discovered in the past couple of weeks that like 2 more trading card game shops opened up here in town, like within the past year.
2? Whoa.
Yeah. Sorry. No, 3.
3?
I forgot about one of them. Yeah. Although one of them, I learned about this when I was at my local game store picking up my copy of Digimon Story Time Stranger, and we were just sort of chatting. This is actually part of a longer story where I was like, whenever I get physical games, I try to get them here, and I told the guy that, and he's like, yeah, we really appreciate it. It's going to be interesting to see how the store manages to survive after 2028. And I was like, why is that? And he was like, well, Sony's discontinuing physical games. And I was like, yeah, right. Of course they are. And so that's not only going to lose them a bunch of opportunities to sell games, but it also destroys the secondary market for PS5 games in the long run. Or maybe it doesn't, because they'll become even more in demand. Who knows? Like the already existing ones.
Yeah. That's why I've been stocking up.
Yeah. And so he sort of joked about like, yeah, maybe we should start stocking trading cards to see if that can be an alternate revenue stream. And then I mentioned the 2 that I knew about, and then he mentioned one that I'd never heard of that also opened recently. There's one trading card game store that is very funny. It's called Pac-Mon. With a logo that is extremely similar to Pokemon. It is supposedly a Pokemon trading card game only store. They have they're open technically in that the store is extant, but they haven't opened in 3 months, and nobody knows why.
That's weird.
Yeah, maybe the guy joked, and I laughed with him about yeah, maybe Nintendo got word of their logo and sent them a letter.
Well, yeah,
we did cover a story about that a couple months ago.
Yeah,
the place in New York.
New York, yeah. There's the one that my in-laws go to every other day in Scotland has a Pokeball logo, and its name is very, similar to what that one got in trouble for, and I'm like, huh.
Yeah,
but they're making they do they have a wall of singles, and they're making bank because it's a couple that owns it. I think she's giving up her day job to do it full time.
Yeah,
So it
doesn't surprise me. They're really hot right now.
Yes, and to be honest, I actually quite like going in and just being like, because they do cheap ones as well. So I've got loads of like full art like Japanese cards for like £2 or whatever, and it's quite nice just to go.
Oh,
I'll just take this, and you're supporting. Like it doesn't feel gross like you're giving into resellers online kind of thing, if you know what I mean. It's like it still feels like you're supporting a business even though they are technically reselling. It's weird, but I like it.
Yeah, but like a trading card game store like that is also a place where communities form.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Where people can come in and trade and play the games.
Yeah.
And like when I was in one of the new trading card game stores a couple of weeks ago just buying some sleeves, there were people just at one of the tables just with their binders open trading Pokemon cards. It was awesome.
Yeah, there's always like wee kids there, and I just look at them and go, to be young.
Yeah.
Because they're so cute.
So that's how I've been in the past couple of weeks. I think we shouldn't have much further ado before we get to the news. And the last bit of further ado we have is to remind everybody that we have a Patreon. That's patreon.com/GamePodular. If you want to send us money there, you can. You don't have to, of course, but we'd really appreciate it if you did. You can get not the highlight compilations, the outtakes compilations if you are a paid member of the Patreon. And also on the Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/GamePodular. I haven't gotten around to uploading the backlog yet, but the most recent one is on there. So if you want to be in the Ko-fi ecosystem, you can do that instead. The money goes to the same place. I don't know who has more, like, generous to us fees, to be honest. Anyway, you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GamePodular, to listen to podcasts like this one, and GamePodular Unfocused, which released an episode a couple of weeks ago, and I haven't listened to yet because it contains thoughts on Mina the Hollower, which I wanted to do this episode on it first before I listened to it, but I am very much looking for, it has been on the like, okay, I'm going to get around to it list, like actually, not on the one that I have for more general things. You know how you have a list of like, yeah, I'll get around to it, and it's been on that list for like 5 years?
You mean like my entire gaming backlog?
Yeah, or like TV shows.
Yeah.
The Boys was on that list for me until this year when I actually started watching it.
Which is surprising because you're a Supernatural fan. I would have thought you'd be like, yeah, on it.
I'm honestly quite surprised as well. Maybe I was watching too much Supernatural at the time, although that doesn't really narrow it down because I am actually actively rewatching the show at the moment as well. I'm on season 10. Fun fact.
Oh, heck.
It's not good.
Well, you've got the when you catch up to The Boys, you've got the prequels next year. So
yeah, and there's also Generation V.
Oh, that got cancelled though.
Yeah, but it is like canon, right? It's like season 1. I looked this up. Season 1 takes place between seasons 3 and 4 of The Boys.
Yeah.
And then season 2 takes place between 4 and 5 or something.
Yeah, I liked season 1. And then I didn't watch season 2 because one of the actors passed away, so he had to get written out. And then it got cancelled. And then so it doesn't really doesn't really have a satisfying kind of conclusion to it. So I was just like, oh, I'm not investing in this. I've got more. But you can, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just sad.
Hardly the first show I've watched that didn't get a proper ending.
I know, cough, Firefly, cough. Well, it kind of, I guess, maybe kind of did with the movie, but we don't really talk about that. There's also the little short, I don't want to go off on a tangent too much, but the little, there's these little animation shorts, which are surprisingly very good, that I recommend.
Yeah, I think I've seen them on IMDb.
Yeah, they're good.
What were we talking about? Right, yeah. The other YouTube channel, youtube.com/GamePodular streams highlights, where you'll find VODs of the streams, which we started doing again. And speaking of which, we're going to be streaming again next week, Tuesday, the 21st.
Yeah.
It is most likely going to be peak.
Yeah.
And the game we're going to be playing is also called Peak.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Check it out on twitch.tv/GamePodular. And lastly, you can join our Discord, which you can do with the link on the website, gamepodular.com, or you can go to our Twitch chat and type !Discord. We're a good bunch of folks.
Yeah.
We talk about figures a lot. All right, let's get into the news. Our first news story, as it often is, he said the thing, oh my god, is new NSO games.
Yay!
We got on the Game Boy, we have Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, which, as you might be able to tell, is a platformer game. We have The Sword of Hope 2, a dungeon crawler that apparently did not review very well. And we had Fortified Zone, an isometric shooter, which is... Which one of the Contra games was like not a 2D scroller, but like a isometric shooter? It's like that.
Okay. I don't know.
And then on the GBA, we have Dr. Mario and Puzzle League, 2 games in 1.
Ooh.
I don't know how this version of Dr. Mario is different from other versions of Dr. Mario. And also, I mean, I've played a bit of Pokemon Puzzle League, I suppose, but this is just Puzzle League vanilla version.
Yeah, because it was a reskin of, isn't it? Wasn't it a reskin of the puzzle game on the SNES where the big flower weapon from Smash Brothers was from? That was like a Japan only, or are those two different things?
I do not know.
I think that's right. I don't know.
Let us know in the comments or on our social media feeds.
Yes.
I apologize for not looking it up. Next story is, hey, here's it. I have thoughts on this. Obviously, I'll be sharing them on the podcast momentarily. We've previously covered Nintendo's intentions to create a hardware revision for the Nintendo Switch with a replaceable battery to comply with EU regulations on episode 279. Mm-hmm. We have now received more information on the specs and the timeline. The console itself is set to be released in the autumn of this year, which is sooner than I thought it would be, especially given how not fun it is to acquire materials for making video game hardware, apparently. The Joy-Con 2 and Pro controllers are following in the winter. The new system will be about 10 grams heavier and have about 1% less battery capacity. So the thing that I have more on this, but I want to mention this part as well. You know what sort of surprised me about this story is I was reading up on it and I was like, shocked how many video game publications didn't actually cover this until like this part happened. Like the actual, when we covered it on episode 279, there wasn't like a lot of writing. And I believe for that episode, I straight up just read the EU regulations, you know? And so it was weird that like we were kind of ahead of the curve on compared to a lot of other publications, which I kind of dig, to be honest. As part of these new regulations, the Nintendo Store in Europe will stop selling the NES controller, the Pokemon Go Plus, the Nintendo Switch, just normal Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Switch Lite, the Nintendo Switch OLED, the normal Pro controller, the Mega Drive controller, and the SNES controller in Europe. Presumably because they don't want to make revisions for them with replaceable batteries.
Yeah. Did you see in the Nintendo? Isn't it just retailers in general? Because we don't have a physical. We have an online Nintendo store, or is that what?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
To the best of my reading, this is like these changes will only reflect the online Nintendo store so far. Yeah. And I assume they're also going to stop making them, so what's out there now is just what's going to be out there.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think they're going to force retailers to take them off shelves if they already have them in stock.
No, of course.
You know?
Yeah.
The weird thing is, They've also said that there's going to be no way for you to pick which version of the console you receive when you buy one from the online Nintendo store, which is a strange decision because I know at least one person in my immediate circle who is explicitly waiting for this hardware revision before picking up a Switch 2.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's not the first time that's happened with some, because the 3DS, the new 3DS and the 3DS XL, I believe it's those two models, they had two different screen types. So you'd either get one with a, is it TNS screen? I'm going to quickly look that up so I'm not spouting rubbish. TN screen or an IPS screen. But you didn't get to pick, wouldn't have that advertised on the box as like, it wasn't like a marketing gimmick or selling point. It was just like luck of the draw which one you was integrated in the 3DS that you bought. But ideally, you wanted the which one was the fancy one? One of them was the fancy one where basically, because you know how like if you had the original 3DS, when you looked at it from an angle, it would look all washed out and you couldn't really see what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe it's the IPS screen, which is the better one. That didn't have that problem and it was a lot more vivid. Like when you see like the difference in photos, it's quite staggering. I need to actually check what one I have. Because I couldn't tell you right now. But that was like a thing where it was just kind of the lottery of. But it is weird that it's doing it with the battery. My only thing is that
because this is actually a selling point, right? It's not just...
Kind of. Because I think when people think replaceable battery, they think that it's them that can replace it, if that makes sense. But it's more of like when you send it off to get fixed, it's easier for that person. You're still not meant to take the battery out yourself.
It's been a minute since I read the actual EU regulations. Again, it was episode 279 and we're currently recording 286. But there is a part of me that says that this regulation is part of a larger movement for rights to repair.
Yes.
And so I believe, don't quote me on this because there's a good chance that I'm wrong, that they have to change the architecture in such a way that it is reasonably feasible for someone at home to be able to like take out the battery and replace it with a new part that they order from the manufacturer. I would not be surprised if that still voids your warranty.
Oh, it will do. That's why I'm... the regulations are more... Because I think people, like millennials as well, who grew up with like the 3310 phone where you could just buy a new battery for it quite easily. It's not meant to be like that kind of friendly in a way. It's more because if your Switch 2 breaks now and it's a battery problem and you send it off, I believe the way the battery is integrated into the board, it's really difficult to take it out. So if the battery is destroyed, it has to be binned, which then piles in the e-waste, which is where this is coming from. Whereas this then helps like the official, because if your Switch 2 breaks, you're still meant to send it off to the official Nintendo centers. And I would always recommend trying that first, because a lot of the times, whatever it is, they might not charge you. I mean, they still don't charge people for Joy-Con repairs.
At least in Europe, they don't.
Yeah. I think it's more... I just worry that when people hear replaceable battery, that means they're instantly going to start like taking it out and like doing willy-nilly, when it's not like a hot swappable battery on like a gaming headset where you are meant to do that, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So, but that's why I'm like, it's not going to be a feature on the box, because it's not going to be part of the marketing spiel. And I wouldn't be, unless you're like a huge eco-obsessed person, I don't think it should be something you should personally wait for. Especially because, like even though I'm like, I'm a vegetarian for the reason of being eco-conscious, and that is something I think about. But at the same time, it's like, they're not going to put it in their marketing videos. It's like, it's more for like the people that are paid to fix things rather than, but then, you can, don't go taking your battery out of your consoles unless the warranty is done and you know what you're doing. Like a general consumer should not be doing that. It's really, because if you get a third market one, especially lithium batteries, it can be really, really dangerous.
Yes.
Is also what I'm worried about, because I just have foresee of people being like, oh, I got the cool replaceable battery switch. Look at this, I can take it in and out. And I'm just like, it's going to end in horror. But it's still a good thing. But yeah, it's not like it's not like the battery, this less battery thing is so annoying, because Switch 2 battery capacity is so rubbish.
Yeah.
I wish there was a way that they could make them eco-friendly and not horrendous. But that'll be a future cool thing, I hope.
I hope.
Probably.
Fingers crossed. Knock on wood.
I know, probably not, because everything gets worse, not better. But hey ho.
The most there will be is there's going to be like some sort of special code or something on the box, like a different kind of serial number kind of thing. So if you're really looking for that specific model, like go buy it in person, I guess, is the best way to make sure you get it.
That's a good idea.
I mean, especially if you can support a local game store, you should.
Yes.
Because as we said in the opening segment, they're going to have a hard enough time of it in the next couple of years anyway.
I know. Because we have all those CEX stores here, although they mainly make, from what I've been told, they mainly make their earnings from like phones and tablets. But I was instantly just like, oh, yay, the possibility of people might be losing their jobs.
Yeah.
Fun. But on the plus side, I did learn, I have grown to appreciate game key cards a little more. So there's that.
I did see a bunch of articles like after Sony announced they were discontinuing physical games in 2028, where the headline was almost verbatim, so game key cards aren't so bad now, are they?
Yeah.
I get the impulse, but like it doesn't change what they are, like it's better than nothing, obviously, but like it's still basically the same in the long run, Yeah,
although I should have known this already, but once you've installed it once, you don't need internet ever again.
True.
Because it's tied to your like account rather than using an internet connection. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still not good. It's just, it could be worse.
Yeah. I mean, Digimon Story Time Stranger, as we joked about in the last episode, is a game key card. It is the first one I own.
Oh, yeah. I think I have 2.
I'm not psyched about it, but I wanted to go out of my way to support my local game store.
There you go.
So sometimes you do things like that. Man, this story ended on a real dour note, huh?
It's just the gaming industry right now for you. It's hard to get around it.
I don't like, I try not to be like, the toxic positivity kind of guy, because I think that doesn't really accomplish anything either. And it has toxic in the name, so it's not something anyone should be doing. But I do try to just keep myself in a good mood.
No, I like that.
Existing, because I don't want to be an outrage merchant.
No.
That's good. As lucrative as it seems to be for some people. I think we and the people who listen to this podcast have enough self-respect to know that it is just better to not do that.
Yeah.
But it has been a particularly trying time the past couple of months, existing as an observer and slight participant in the games industry and games media. And, oh boy, I am not happy reading all of the news that comes out of it.
No. Fun. It's also that
Great.
I'm obviously not going to go into it, but it's like having the balance of being aware, sympathetic, empathetic, but also still being like, I'm going to go play a game now to distract myself, which is a privilege. But it's
Yeah.
very sometimes quite difficult to balance that whole thing. But I think there's a way. For example, I'm not judging anyone because I have to cover it. And I'm saying this as somebody who, until recently, was like, I love my PS5. It's amazing. And I'm like, oh. People like sharing the PlayStation Plus games that came out and like, oh, these are good. Yay. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to just be constantly posting positive things about it right now because it's still raw. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I've got like loads of games coming in the post because anytime I can find one for cheap, I'm like, I need it now until it's going to be like, a game that was 20 quid is going to be like 300 quid in like 2 years' time. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Sad.
This is not related to Nintendo, but it is related to what we're talking about. Did you see the thing about GDC that went around like yesterday?
Yes.
About how like in order to be nominated as a GDC like awards judge, you have to be a working member of the video games like an employed member of the video games industry, which is such a catastrophic failure in reading the situation that I'm genuinely surprised that got posted online.
Yeah, it's not surprising though, because I wasn't it only until like a few years ago that if you were a part of like the Oscars committee, you didn't actually have to watch any of the movies.
Yeah.
Which is why like Disney used to win a lot. Not that the movies weren't good, and I'm saying this as a Disney fan, but like that's why they used to win when there were other films that felt more deserving because they'd just be like, oh, it's Disney, and tick it.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh.
And it would be like the one animated movie they watched.
Yeah, because their kids had it on in the background or something. Yeah, it's like, but they changed it.
But I mean, like,
But
people don't really take GDC seriously anymore anyway, right?
I don't think they ever did, to be fair.
I mean, GDC, at least for like, it was a great place for industry people to connect, and the GDC talks are genuinely super valuable as far as I've heard. But like, they rebranded to like GDC Festival of Gaming or something.
Yeah.
And now it's just kind of a joke as far as like the Game Developers Conference is not taken seriously by game developers anymore. And that is very sad, but also a little funny.
They should just do away with it entirely and then get Jeff Keighley on stage. And instead of announcing a game, be like, here's this person, here is their CV, give them a job and go through every single person that's been laid off.
The award ceremony will take 3 weeks.
But they deserve it.
Yeah.
They're literally just...
I guess it's not even an award ceremony. The presentation will take 3 weeks. It will be uninterrupted, live 24/7.
Yeah.
And they'd get through a quarter of the people who were laid off this year.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, like, I would watch it.
I hate it here.
Oh.
I think I've talked about this on the show before. If I somehow became unfathomably wealthy in those lotteries that I'd never buy tickets for, I would just I would start I know nothing about game development, so I couldn't really, I don't feel comfortable doing anything of that, but I would just look at games media and I would just be like, hi, I have functionally infinite money. I am going to start up a video games publication for news, reviews, editorials, the whole shebang. I am hiring all of these people. Go. I'm going to fund this until I run out of money. just so this can exist and people can have jobs. That is like my ultimate pipe dream of being rich.
Yeah. I want to run away and open up an antiques toy shop. That's my new dream.
Or a Pokemon card game bar, as we learned today.
Yes, exactly. There you go. And like, if you pull a God pack, you get your drinks comped for the whole night, as long as I get it.
Trade me your fancy card for free drinks for the rest of the night.
To be fair, that would be totally worth it.
Pretty sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Pokemon, we have some new Pokemon LEGO that first got leaked and then got actually officially revealed. There's a Munchlax, an Arcanine, a Rayquaza, which I'm reading now in my notes I spelled wrong, a scaled up red minifigure, and a large Pokeball that opens up to show 2 different dioramas, one of a Pokemon battle and one of Professor Oak's lab. These all kind of look fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I have not been especially impressed with any of the Pokemon LEGO they've announced so far. I will say I do quite like the Rayquaza one. Maybe just because I'm a big mark for dragons and Gen 3. But this is the first one that I think I would actually unequivocally say I like.
I like the other sets they did that come with like they interact with the smart brick thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Jigglypuff one. I want it.
Nice. Naturally.
Yeah, of course.
The like scaled up red minifigure looks so silly.
Yeah.
Because it is just like it's shaped like a minifigure. So he has the like cylindrical head, but he's like
huge.
The size of my monitor or whatever, right? Like, why? I mean, I guess it beats like trying to make like a Lego figure look very human, because that's also not going to go particularly well. I don't know. It's a weird decision. I'd say who is this for, but it's for people like me who have worse taste. Shots fired. No, it's, it's, I feel kind of weird about this on the one hand, because like, I should be like the perfect circle target audience for this, right? I am of the generation that grew up with Pokemon. I am a big freak for Lego, but basically very little of this run has actually like appealed to me. But then I also think like that feeling is saving me a lot of money. And also I should not feel obliged to participate in capitalism, especially for things that are fun but ultimately unnecessary.
Yeah, there's cooler Pokemon stuff out there anyway, or stuff that I prefer, I guess.
I will also say I like sort of the idea behind the Pokeball that opens up with the dioramas. I just wish the actual Pokeball was just a little less greebled. Like, due to the very nature of it being Lego, there's just a lot of like pieces to it.
Yeah.
And it makes it look very busy. But I guess if they didn't do it like that, they would have to design like a custom flat piece that can slot over top. And then you'd also have to contend with the dioramas that go into it. And that seems like a lot of work. And maybe they just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
That being said, those engineers at Lego sure have some very big brains for figuring these kinds of things out. Maybe they ran out of time as well. Who knows? Speaking of Lego, there was also a leak for a small Donkey Kong arcade cabinet. Who knows how interactive it will be? Like, it does seem to have, it looks like an arcade cabinet, so it's got like the buttons and the joystick.
Yeah.
But we don't know if there's any like electric component to it. Again, it's a leak. We've only seen like one photo.
I know the NES one was interactable. Was it electric, or was it running on like cogs and levers and things?
Couldn't tell you. I didn't buy it.
Oh. It looked cool.
But I mean, Lego's no stranger to using electronic parts, right?
Yeah.
Even when I was a kid, my brother had the Lego robot set that came with like a CD, or I guess a DVD-ROM, maybe a CD-ROM, that you would slot into your computer, and you could put like simple programs and then transfer them to Lego robot, and then they would do like move in a particular pattern that you programmed them to do. It's very cool.
That is cool.
Also, sorry, I have to mention Bionicle. So in the early days of Bionicle, there were sets called the Manas, who were large crabs, essentially, and they came with remote controllers. They had like little wireless controllers. They might have been wired, actually. They came with controllers, and you could like fight them against each other. And they had like an electric component with like, it's probably battery powered, obviously, where you could press buttons and they would like punch with their claws. And the point of the game was like they had masks on the front. And you had to like hit the masks off the other crab's face. It was cool.
Yes.
I don't know if they'd go so far as to just put a literal entire circuit board that can run genuinely actually Donkey Kong on a Lego set, but who knows?
Yeah.
They've done some weird things. Moving on, the free-to-play mobile game Mario Kart Tour is set to be shut down on September 29th. Unlike Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, there are no plans for an offline version, which I guess wouldn't be all that fun anyway if you couldn't play it against other people. There's like bot races, but yeah. You can already no longer buy the premium currency, which I believe were rubies, or get a new gold pass, which is, I believe, the battle pass or whatever you want to call it from other games. Bummer. It has some tracks that have not appeared in any other Mario Kart game, so those will be lost.
Some of the outfits as well are really cool and exclusive. Maybe they might bring them to World on the Switch too.
I mean, World does get the occasional update still, right? They added like new tracks they added new courses to Knockout Tour like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. I wish they would do DLC like they did with 8 Deluxe. That'd be neat. But yeah, it does.
Yeah. So who knows? We might get them. You might be right. You frequently are.
Oh, I love when people say that.
When we were like talking about this episode over like Discord chat a couple of days ago, you called me legend, and I've been riding that high ever since. Right? Like I think I posted on Blue Sky like I may have peaked.
Yeah, I should like a clip you saying I'm always right, and every time me and Andrew like get into a discussion or something, I'll just play the audio clip and go, see.
There's a very early episode where I did like a joke. We were talking about Pikmin 4 because you'd played the demo, and then the next episode I played the demo and I talked about it, and I did a bit of like I grabbed a piece of paper and made some noise to make it sound like I was opening a notebook, and I said something along the lines of, here, let me check what I wrote down here. Everything that Rosalie said was correct. So that might be a good soundbite for you to grab as well.
Yep. I'll just have like, I'll save all these compliments and then just have one like 30 to an hour podcast recording. It's just I play whenever I'm sad. Or whenever I just want to, be really vain and obnoxious, which, it happens.
And that's going to do it for the news portion of our show, which takes us to the part of the show where we talk about what we've been playing.
Ooh.
Now, you are a fan of, let me check my notes here, Deltarune? And I believe you played the new episode of that. How did that go for you?
I did. Chapter 5. I was going to say, it's probably, I think it's weird. I'd say it's like my least favorite chapter, but that it's still very good. So, like, the least enjoyable Toby Fox and team writing is still pretty, high up there compared to other games. So it's not to drag it down too much. But it was good. I'm at the point where I really want to know, because the whole kind of shtick with Deltarune, especially because we're getting it in chapters and then little dribbles, is that there's a lot of like theorizing over what's the underlying plot and what's going on and what this character means and why they're not here. And that's kind of part of the fun, because a lot of the Undertale, like, I hate using the word fandom because it just makes me feel old and weird. But
that word is way older than you think it is.
I know, but like, I have a weird thing where, like, it's an old word, but then it started to like go into the vernacular, like what, the 2010s, and like,
yeah, that's true.
And like,
I think the concept of fandom goes back far enough for like Sherlock Holmes, I believe, was sort of the first, like, some of the first fan fiction.
Yeah.
And then it sort of got codified by like Star Trek fans in the 60s.
Yeah. But like, I didn't hear people like, it used to just be like, I'm a fan of Zelda. You wouldn't be like, I'm a part of the Zelda fandom. You know what I mean? That's when I hear people talking about it. But I don't really like the word, because it insinuates that you're like actively part of like a group or doing things, and I don't really like to do that, if that makes sense, especially because that can tend to be a lot of younger people, and I don't have the free times to like be actively like doing things. I just, like, if I like a thing, I'm doing it in my own terms. So I don't really like to use that word because it doesn't feel like it describes my experience.
You're making a distinction between being part of a fandom and participating in a fandom.
Yes, thank you. That's it. But part of like being part of the Undertale and Deltarune like experience is kind of enjoying the theories around it, because there's stuff in Undertale that still hasn't like been confirmed, but it is kind of there, like the what's his name, Gaster, the creepy guy, he's in there, but you're not going to experience him because it's all that weird stuff, and then it's maybe also tied to Deltarune, we don't know. So it's like, but I'm at the point now where I really just kind of want to know. And I'm,
because have they said how many chapters it's going to have? 8?
8.
I think there's 8.
I think it's 8. There's like there's space for 6 and 7 on like the main screen, but I remember it being 8.
So at the rate they've been coming out recently, you got to wait another 3 years for all of the answers.
I mean, probably won't even be all the answers either. But it's because another reason why I'm really itching is because basically I think I've mentioned it before, but kind of like that weird, Deltarune has like an extra, like the underlining weird meta, like the player as a character kind of thing going on. But there's also, and like how Undertale had like you had the pacifist route, the true pacifist route, and then you had the genocide route. The Deltarune has something called like, what fans called the weird route. Yeah. And like there's been an extra,
so I've heard.
Yeah, there's an extra part of that in this chapter, which sets up some very like, because Toby has said that this game, even if you do the weird route where things take a very drastic turn, the game has one ending. Like if you go on his little newsletter kind of like website thing that has like an FAQ, it says Deltarune has one ending. So I'm like, is there time loops going on? Is this what's going on? And I want to know. But I hope I last 3 years. It would be good if I did it. I would haunt Toby Fox so bad. But no, this chapter's really cool. I don't want to spoil like the plotness because I want to make you play Deltarune. And part of the enjoyment of it is that it takes you to places you don't really know. But I will say this chapter adds like platforming mechanics, and like they're really great. So like you get like an item, and then the whole kind of game like flips. My vocabulary is not as good as yours. It goes from like a slightly top-down kind of RPG view to like a side scrolling like platforming view, and it's very yes, that's what I was looking for. It's very well implemented. It feels fantastic. Well, I know these are taking a while to come out, so they probably had plenty of time to like polish it up, to be fair, but it feels so great, and it kind of makes me wish that Toby Fox does like a platformer. Him and his team do a platformer next, which would be kind of cool if they did. That'd be nice. But yeah, it's very interesting. And this chapter also ties into Undertale in a huge way, but like there's still not a confirmation if they're technically directly linked or if it's like a inspiration, like the Zelda Majora's Mask kind of thing. So I'm like, it's like, it was to the point where my partner finished it and he really enjoyed it, but there was things happening when I was watching him play it, and he didn't have the reactions that I think the game kind of sets you up to have. And I was like, you really need to play Undertale finally, like you need to, like now. So he completed it in a few days, and he was like, oh, the thing. He was doing like the Leonardo DiCaprio meme throughout the entire time. And I was like, now you understand. And I kind of want him to replay Deltarune now, so it happens again. But no, it's very exciting, and music was fantastic. Didn't do the secret.
Unsurprisingly,
I know, right? I didn't do the secret boss because it's brutal. And the last boss was. I was shouting at my TV in some parts, but then it didn't end up being too bad. But it wasn't because it's like the bullet hell scenario, and I am not good at them. But I love the game so much that I kind of just forced myself to go through it.
Yeah.
But no, it was very, very good. They actually even had an anime sequence, a very short anime sequence, which was animated by the same studio as Evangelion, the Rebuild movies.
Really?
Don't know how much that cost. I have an inkling because I think, I could be wrong, I think Toby Fox and Co. and his team are based in Japan right now.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, because I know he can speak Japanese because he hangs out with Sakurai and stuff. Or at least Sakurai's mentioned that he got him around to his house and stuff, and that's pretty cool. So I don't know if he if he just networked and was like, "Oh, we're fans of yours, we'll do this." But if he it must have cost. They must be raking it in, because that's like one of the best anime studios going right now, and it's really cool. And I was like screaming while experiencing it, but like, because this whole chapter is very like lots of kind of like anime tropes, but in like the fun tropes, like
nice.
There's a character that has audio clips that sound like an Otome game, and there's JoJo Bizarre Adventures references and things. It's just, it's great. The cool thing as well is that it was free, so you only pay, I think it's about £20 here, 25, and all the chapters that finish after this will also still be free. So every time one comes out, you're not being charged for them. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Because, so used to like microtransactions and all sorts of greedy anti-consumerness that it's nice that that's not the case. But yes, I love it. It was very good. Just something about Deltarune, man. It's just really like there's like most of my favorite. I don't know if we were talking about this before, but most of my favorite. Well, we were, because you were asking about 13 Sentinels, and I was on the Discord, and I was saying, it's one of my the few semi-recent games that's actually kind of in my top 10, or at least near it, and one of the only other kind of modernish games that's in there also is Deltarune. The rest of them are all like Parappa the Rappa and Majora's Mask.
Witcher 3 was, I think, another example, but that game's also like
spilled
2
there.
console generations ago.
I know,
by now.
I know. Although that's getting new DLC, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, that kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, but most of mine are like 90s, maybe nostalgia glasses on, like Shenmue and Final Fantasy 7 and things. But Deltarune, 100%. And yeah, and you need to play it. Because I think you would really, even though the bullet hell stuff can get very challenging, like a lot of the jokes and the writing in it is your kind of humor. It's very witty and funny, and some of it's just daft. And I think you'd appreciate it.
I think we talked about this before, but that is indeed what turned me off of Undertale in the first place. Like, I've played a good chunk of it, but I never actually ended up finishing it.
Yeah.
It was I've forgotten most of the characters. The robot.
Oh, Metaton?
Yeah, it was the Metaton fight where I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough at this game.
I prefer the fights in Deltarune. You don't have to do the secret bosses, and I wouldn't really advise it if you don't like the bullet hell thing, because they are hard. But I like the Deltarune fights more because they kind of add silly story elements sometimes into them that kind of breaks up the monotony and makes them more fun, even if you're not doing great. So yeah, I think you'd prefer it. The only one that I started to really struggle with was the one at the end of 4, because chapter 4 is very, I talked about it when it came out, but it was very like, oh my god, things are happening. So the last fight was very, very important and very scary, and I tried it, I think, like 12 times until I did it. But then it's I guess it's maybe like a kind of FromSoft thing where, as well, was when you do it, you're like, yeah, I'm amazing. But it was only that one that really got me. Otherwise, it's not that bad. I think you'd also I think you can get the first chapter still for free, or at least the first 2 for free, maybe.
Sick.
Could be wrong, but yeah, I'll make you play it one day. I got you to like everything else. You liked Crow Country, and you liked
Paranormosite.
Yeah.
Thank goodness you're here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you'd like Deltarune. I'd be willing to bet on it.
One other thing I really appreciate about Deltarune is you mentioned the music earlier, and we're not sponsored by Bandcamp, but it is very fun. I buy a lot of my music there, so I guess I'm just a fan. But it is very fun to see that the Deltarune Chapter 5 soundtrack has been like at the top of the Bandcamp sales charts for like weeks now.
Oh, I'll need to actually get it on Bandcamp. I've been secretly informed that I have maybe some of the soundtracks in vinyl coming for my birthday this year.
Ooh.
But because they do really nice vinyl releases of them in Fangamer, and I love Fangamer. But yes, that's a good shout. Actually, I need to support them financially more, so I'm going to buy that.
And you get on Bandcamp, you get really nice high quality lossless audio files if you're into that kind of thing.
I am. I'm using my high res wireless headset right now, so I could actually experience them. Yeah. Interesting.
Again, not sponsored by Bandcamp. I just spend a lot of money there.
No, they gotta give money. It's better than them getting 2p from a streaming site.
Yeah. And what else was near the top of the Bandcamp sales charts for a while? Why, it was the soundtrack for Mina the Hollower.
Oh,
I set it up perfectly. Which is the game I've been playing. I actually finished it a little bit before our last episode, but that episode was already long enough.
Yeah.
And I was already talking about Monster Hunter Stories as well. All those like directs and Summer Game Fest stuff, it's really thrown off our schedule.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's nice to just have normal episodes where we talk about normal news and video games. Anyway, I don't want to belabor that point too much. We already did it on the last episode. I'm going to talk about Mina the Hollower now. I really like this game, but it comes with some caveats. It's the thing that strikes me most about Mina the Hollower is I really love the world that they've set up, because it's very weird, and it's weird in a way that I really, really enjoy. And it's a lot of the weirdness isn't really explained, but I think that really works in the game's benefit and makes it feel like part of a larger story or world, or I don't want to say lore, but there's so much more to be gained from a setting like this, and it just makes me want to find out more about it. And that really works in the game's favor, because a lot of this game is about exploration. And so in that exploration, you're going to find like collectibles and like useful items and stuff, but you're also going to find some characters that say very strange things sometimes that make you go, huh? What? And also, haha, a funny joke. So that's the thing that like strikes me most about it. It's just the way that the game is written and presented, with the like, especially the specific palette for the art style that they did to evoke the like the Game Boy Color. Oh, beautiful stuff. The main talking point around this game has been its difficulty, which, again, like the art style, is purposefully hard to sort of evoke that era of Game Boy Color, like adventure-y kind of games. And I, like a lot of people, think that its default difficulty is too hard.
Yeah.
I will say it is a type of hard that I think you could get very good at if you practice, but I do not have all the time in the world, so I did not have really a lot of inclination to do a lot of practicing. They did, as a, I guess you could call it a concession, but as a way of helping people, they included a large menu with a lot of options that include modifiers that can make the game easier. There's some in there that can make the game harder, which if you're into that, good, go for it. Like, you want to take more damage from attacks instead of less, sure. That'll make some challenge runs at GDC very exciting, I imagine. Unironically, I think that would be very impressive to see. But the sort of weird thing that they did is there's also an in-game sort of like achievement system that have a name that isn't achievements, but they're achievements. And you do not get any of them if you have any of the modifiers turned on, which, okay. Stuff like that is fairly, or like was fairly standard practice when games used to have cheats in them. Do you remember cheats?
Yeah.
Which a lot of these like functionally are. Like, there is just one option where you do not take damage anymore. Like, enemies cannot hurt you. And, you know, that's basically a cheat. It's not called a cheat. It's called a modifier. But, and I think that's sort of where it may have rubbed people, including you, the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because it kind of feels like, haha, you can't play our game, babies? Well, you don't get achievements then. Neener, neener, neener.
It also feels, because a lot of these modifiers are accessibility options, so it kind of feels like you're being looked down upon for being disabled.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the dexterity that I used to have, and part of that
Same.
is because I have really bad joint pain. So my knuckles freeze up quite a lot. So while I also think I do need to get good. Okay, I accept that. Okay, but I have noticed that it does impede on the things I play and how I play them. And that's one of the reasons why I've got a few hours into it, but I like achievements. I really like achievements because, for many reasons, they remind you where you were. It's the serotonin. I like the wee noises they make. And that is one of the reasons I was like, I'm going to play something else now.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah, it's rubbish. They should change it.
Like, it didn't really, like, I'm not an achievements kind of guy. It didn't bother me in the slightest. But like, it is just kind of a bad look, you know?
Yeah. I just
a weird decision.
I just like them cause I won't interrupt you too much, but like when you go back to a game and you don't remember where you are, a lot of games don't have like built-in systems that help you remind you of like where you are in the story or when you last did certain things. And achievements like you completed chapter 1 on this date. You have this many chapters to go. And it gives you like a term of reference of where you are. And sometimes if I come back to like an RPG, I will look up and I'll be like, oh, you have like 2 chapters left, and that it's nice. And also you can kind of like, sometimes I compare them to what my friends have, so I know not to spoil bits of the game because I know exactly where they are. And it's also nice for memories. I just find them really cool, and to not be able to get in is just, I don't know, it's a bit rubbish. But then I guess I think I might go back, play it with modifiers, and then hopefully that will help me learn how to play them without.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know.
Yes and no, because like one of the modifiers are they have like sort of bundles of these modifiers, and one of them is just called like assist mode, and that has, among other things, like you don't take damage from pits anymore, like falling into pits.
That's the one that got me, yeah.
That is the one, like, before I turned on the rest of assist mode, that is the one I turned on almost, like, I beat, like, the first boss, and you get to the point where you have, like, the main hub town, and you can just sort of start exploring around there.
Yeah.
And it's at that point where I found some areas where, like, I need to not take damage from pits, or I'm going to throw my controller through the television.
Well,
like...
But it also doesn't make sense, because it's obviously like one of its big inspirations is like the Game Boy Zelda games, right? Which you do take damage when you fall. But the difference is that when Link comes back, you're spawned right near the edge of where you fell. Whereas in this, you can go back like 30 minutes later, like in the past. And I'm like, well, I can't be bothered going back. That's what annoyed me.
Yeah. Some of those are very weird. How like it'll put you like multiple jumps in a platforming sequence back. Yeah. And the way I guess you could call it a checkpoint, even though there's no like on-screen indication. The places it picks to put those checkpoints, and notably some of the places it chooses not to put checkpoints, are very odd. And I did turn the game off like once, where like I failed to jump a couple times, and I was like, I'm not doing this whole thing again. I'm going to pick this up again later. Even with not taking any actual damage from the pits, just you're back at the beginning of the screen. Like it wouldn't, that going back to the beginning of the screen wouldn't bother me so much if it was consistent. But it's not. Sometimes you spawn back exactly where you fell in, and sometimes you spawn back 3 jumps ago. And I don't understand how it makes the decision of which to do when.
Yeah.
The weird thing about this game's difficulty is it's honestly arguably hardest when you start, and it sort of gets easier over time.
Oh, okay.
Not only because you get a feel for the controls, which are, I'm not going to call them bad, but they are specific.
Yeah.
Like, they're, again, evocative of a very particular era in which you had D-pads and not thumbsticks. So the controls is something I think you really have to get used to. But also, as you make more progress in the game, there's a leveling system, which just makes like your maximum hit points higher, your attack higher, your defense higher, the damage of your sidearms higher. And so you can just grind in this game to give yourself a leg up. Okay. But also, there are trinkets And these trinkets are things you can equip that give you passive abilities. Things like, off the top of my head, a fly spawns when you get hit by an enemy that then goes after the enemies. Or there's like a life ring that gives you basically an extra hop. Like if you fall down a pit, you bounce off the life ring first, so you can either like go backwards, or you can just use it as an extra small jump to clear further distances, which is the reason I kept it on through the entirety of the game after I unlocked it.
Yeah, I didn't get far enough to... I think I literally stopped playing at the bit you were describing where it's over pits and you had to like move jumping pads in between pits, but they would spawn back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I got.
That's a very annoying area.
Yeah, yeah. But that's good to know.
Yeah. And so it's kind of a hard game to recommend, even though I do recommend it. But it's the kind of game that you really have to know what you're getting into when you start playing it. And also, it is the kind of game that, at least for me, it really needed to strike me on like a good day, you know? Because this is not the kind of game you turn on when you're kind of in a bad mood. Like, if you are in a bad mood when you're playing this game, you will turn it off again very quickly.
So like Marvel Rivals then. Because that happens a lot.
I do like her name is Mina the Hollower. Her sort of special move is she has the ability to burrow, to hollow, if you will. And that lets you access certain places. It lets you dig up stuff from the ground. It lets you dodge attacks. And really understanding the timing of the burrow is, I think, one of the things that's going to help you a lot in making a lot of progress in this game. And once you have it figured out, it feels amazing, genuinely. If you can, like, you're fighting a big boss and you just burrow under its attacks so it can't hit you, and then you pop up on the other side and you start smacking it with your weapon. It's great. Love it. Big fan. And also, I do like the story, and I mentioned before the like dialogue writing. A lot of the dialogue is like, a lot of the characters are very funny, they're very strange, and some of them say things that just make you give you more questions than before they started talking. But like in a good way. It's cool. Yeah. It's evocative. It makes you feel things.
Yeah, the devs are really good for that, because that's what I liked about Shovel Knight, because the town you go to just was a bit weird, but in a cool way.
Yeah. I'm not going to give like a lot of story spoilers. It takes some turns, obviously, though I will admit not a lot that I didn't see coming like way in advance, but that's, good. It means that they employed foreshadowing and were good at writing by using it. I really like that aspect of it. It is a game that you really have to love exploration to play, because there are so many like secrets and breakable walls and weird paths you have to take to get to certain places. And you could, I did finish the game. I didn't 100% it. I think I 85%ed it.
Okay.
Like, I'm missing about 15 trinkets, I think, is the main thing, and a couple keys, or keys, as they're called in this game. And I do, in some ways, I do kind of want to go back and get the rest. But on the other hand, I'm playing a bunch of other really long games at the moment, so I don't know if I have like a lot of time. This is a game that is for the sickos, let's say. And you kind of have to know if you're the kind of sicko that this game appeals to before you start playing it. Because it's a game that I think is very easy to bounce off of very quickly. And as sort of what happened to you, right? Like, the beginning of the game, especially because it doesn't give you a lot of guidance. Like you do the beginning of the game, then you get to the hub town, and they're like, okay, you have 6 places to go to do a thing. go. Like,
Yeah, well, I literally was fine until the pits.
yeah.
Because they give you hints about, like, oh, there's a cemetery. And I'm like, oh, context
Yeah.
clues. And I didn't have any issues. In fact, it was the way that it kind of forces you to get a grip of the burrowing was really cool. And once I was like,
Yeah.
because you don't really understand that it doesn't literally tell you do this and you will, it's not, there's not like a tutorial. It throws you right in. And I did really like that. But I think also, I think I might have to play it. So I was playing it on the Steam Deck, and the Steam Deck's quite heavy and it's not very comfortable. And with that kind of precise platforming and like maneuvering, I think I would need to probably play it docked on the TV with like a fancy 8-bit DOE controller, a Pro controller.
In general, I recommend playing this game on a big screen anyway. Like, obviously, the pixels are going to look a bit chunky, but it does let you see environmental details that are hiding secrets a lot better.
Oh, okay.
So you can see, like, oh, this wall is breakable, or this is a place I have to dig to make a thing happen. That kind of thing. The thing that sort of frustrated me is, near the beginning, that exact part with, like, the platforms you have to move yourself was just kind of annoying. And B, there are a lot of areas that are locked behind, like, gates where you need keys. And I just couldn't find any, basically. And so there's a shop in town that sells them, but every one you buy makes the next one more expensive. So I genuinely just spent time grinding bones, the game's currency and also XP system, to just buy keys to try making some amount of progress. And that sort of like really dragged the game down for me for a bit, which is unfortunate because I also think I just sort of got unlucky in that, I would buy a key and I would be like, I'd be exploring the overworld and I'd get to a location where it's locked and there's no system in the game for like putting a pin on your map because you don't have a map. And so you'd be like, okay, there's a locked gate. I'll just try and remember the next time I'm here with a key. And then I'd open it and it would just be something that's completely useless. And I'd be like, well, I wasted all that time and money and the game auto-saved, so I guess I'm grinding for more keys. Like, so you kind of, in that specific way, I think you have to get a little bit lucky.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is a game I think that has a very specific audience in mind, and it is something I respect, and the modifiers help expand that audience a little bit, which is something I very much appreciate, because if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have finished this game. But know what you're getting into before you decide to play it, I guess. I am very glad that it did well.
Yeah.
Like, we talked about on the show before how they really needed this one to do pretty well for the studio to keep existing. And it's done very well for them, and I'm delighted to hear that. And I'm so glad that I got to finish it as well. So good on you, Yacht Club.
Yay.
But yeah, it's like I said, it's a hard game to recommend, but I do ultimately recommend it.
Yeah. I like any game that goes for like a specific Game Boy Color era because I feel like that there's so many things that use a little bit of nostalgia in their design and things, but I feel like that specific look isn't as utilized as much these days.
Yeah, if they go for something from that era, people usually go for like a 16-bit like TV console, your Super Nintendos or your Sega Genesis.
Exactly. Or there's loads of like N64 kind of things trying to look like Banjo-Kazooie and stuff, but I feel like because I really love Oracle of Ages and Seasons, the Zelda games, a lot. So like I do love that it looks very similar. And I think I noticed some like maybe not references, but there were some things that were just very like, because like Link's Awakening as well has some really weird characters in it too. So that some of the characters in the town kind of were quite reminiscent of that in a And I liked that. Because, like, that weirdness is something Nintendo doesn't tend to, like, dive into much when it comes to, like, its main console stuff. But it used to, like, when it was a portable Zelda, they were like, yeah, it's fine. Just have this raccoon that dances around. Yeah, whatever. So, yeah, no, it's very cool. I also like that it's Mina's very... feels very inspired by Secret of the Nymph, the Don Bluth movie.
Yeah.
Which I love because I love Don Bluth movies, so that's very cool.
I read a little snippet of an interview with someone with like one of the artists from Yacht Club Games about the design of Mina, and like they had locked in pretty early that it was going to be a world full of like anthropomorphic animals, and they ultimately came down on mouse for Mina because her big ears made it very easy for the player to see which direction they were facing.
I love stuff like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Mouse characters are just cool. There's a mouse character in Deltarune Chapter 5 too, which I really appreciated. I can't even think of a bad mouse character in anything. Like got Fievel. He's pretty cool.
Basil.
Oh, Basil's very cool. Just like, they're just cool.
The Rescuers.
Yeah.
Shout out to The Rescuers Down Under, the best Disney sequel.
I love The Rescuers. And the Mouse and the Aristocats, because I recently rewatched that.
Oh, yeah.
He was voiced by the original Winnie the Pooh voice actor, and he's just, I forget the actual mouse's name, but he's cool. Is it Rat? Oh, what is it? I don't know. He's got a little hat.
I couldn't tell you. Yeah.
He's got a little hat and a jacket.
Redwall as well. I've never like read any of the Redwall books, but people really like Redwall.
Oh, yeah.
I have a surprise. I have a tabletop RPG that sort of evokes that kind of Redwall style thing called Mouse Guard.
Oh, I have heard of this. I have.
It's the second edition, I believe, because the first edition is like really hard to find. But I just found the second edition like in a game store in Australia many years ago, and so I have it. I've never played it, as is the case of most of the games on my shelf.
Man, we mentioned tabletop games, we mentioned Bionicle, me being sleepy, like that's a bingo right there.
I promise we have enough entries for the full bingo card. I just need to actually like construct it.
Oh, that's gonna be amazing.
Yeah. But before we get to building bingo cards, we're going to take it to the part of the show where we talk about what we're going to be playing.
Ooh.
I am currently playing Digimon Story Time Stranger.
Oh.
I'm having a good time with it. I'm sort of waiting for the part of the game where like it sort of opens up a little bit. So far it's been pretty on rails.
Mm.
And I know from the marketing that you also go to a place where you're allowed to ride Digimon, and I really want that. And I haven't gotten there yet, but I am playing it. I am enjoying it. How about you?
I am playing Rhythm Paradise Groove, also known as Rhythm Heaven Groove in the US, in case someone's gotten very confused there.
Yeah.
And it is phenomenal. Am I good at it? That's up to decide for yourself. But no, it's very, very, very good.
Excellent. Looking forward to hearing more about it in future episodes.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of N Focus. Stick around for like the social medias and all that stuff at the end of the show. But we're going to call it there. I had a lot of fun recording this one. I am very warm. I cannot wait to sit down and also read the 5 Discord messages that I have been sent in the process of this recording. Everyone wants to hear from me tonight.
Oh my God, popular.
Yeah. So I hope you all had a good time listening to this episode. I know we had a great time recording it, and we'll talk to you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of In Focus. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review on iTunes. It really helps us get noticed. Also, please tell your friends if you think they'd be interested. Word of mouth really helps too. You can also listen and subscribe on Spotify and other podcast services and YouTube. And if you're listening on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out our sister show, Game Podular Unfocused, and follow us on Blue Sky and at gamepodular.com for updates, news, and other content. Links to all of our socials, including our Discord and Blue Sky, may be found at our link tree. If you'd like to support our shows, you can buy us a coffee or become a Game Podular patron. The details for both are on our website. Thanks. This episode was edited by Hilka, and you can follow him at gear12turbo.eurosky.social on Blue Sky. And he was joined today by me, Rosalie, who you can find at littlerecordgirl.bluesky.social on Blue Sky. Have a good one.